They just quoted you $4,500 for a rebuild you don't need. 78% of these dying engines could be saved with a $100 oil strategy the industry buried on purpose. After 2 decades watching mechanics push unnecessary rebuilds, I'm done staying quiet. I'm exposing the exact formula that saved thousands of engines from the scrapyard, but the final step is the one your dealership will never mention. Stick around. 15. Stop using cheap oil filters. Here's where most people mess up without even knowing it. They spend money on quality oil, but then grab a $3 filter at the discount store. Cheap oil filters use cardboard end caps and low-quality filter media. When these fail, unfiltered oil circulates through your engine, carrying metal particles, dirt, and sludge directly to your bearings, cylinder walls, and valve train. This accelerates wear dramatically. A quality filter like Mobil 1, Wix, or Bosch uses synthetic media that captures particles as small as 20 microns. Cheap filters might only catch 40 micron particles. That difference means twice as much contamination grinding away at your engine components. 3 weeks ago, a delivery driver brought us his 2014 Ford Transit with 180,000 miles. The engine was knocking badly. When we dropped the oil pan, we found metal shavings everywhere. Turns out he'd been using bargain basement filters for years. The filter had partially collapsed, letting debris circulate freely. His engine needed a complete rebuild, $5,200. Compare that to spending an extra $5 per oil change on a quality filter. Over 100,000 miles at 5,000-mile intervals, that's 20 oil changes, or $100 total. Would you rather spend $100 or $5,200? Hold on, because what I'm about to tell you next will change how you think about oil changes forever. 14. Fix small oil leaks immediately. Every drop of oil leaking out means you're running with less oil than you should. Low oil levels cause increased wear, higher temperatures, and accelerated engine damage. That tiny valve cover leak dripping a few drops per day, over a month, that's a half quart gone. Many people don't check their oil regularly, so they're driving around a quart or more low without knowing it. A landscaper in Texas ignored a small rear main seal leak on his 2013 Chevy Silverado. Over 6 months, he was consistently running 1.5 quarts low. One hot summer day, towing his equipment, the engine seized. Lack of oil caused bearing failure. Total loss, $7,500 for a used engine replacement. Compare that to a $380 valve cover gasket replacement, or even a $900 rear main seal job. Small leaks are cheap fixes that prevent catastrophic failures. Look, I can already hear some of you, but it's just a few drops. It's not worth fixing yet. Wrong. Dead wrong. Those few drops today are a seized engine next summer. Stop gambling. So you see, fixing leaks is important, sure, but this next one, it's literally life or death for your engine. 13. Monitor and maintain proper oil level. This seems obvious, but according to AAA research, 27% of drivers don't know how to check their oil. Even more shocking, 42% of drivers never check their oil between changes. Your engine was designed to run with a specific amount of oil. Running even half a quart low increases bearing temperatures and accelerates wear. Running a full quart low can reduce oil pressure enough to cause damage. Check your oil every 2 weeks or every 500 miles. It takes 60 seconds. How many of you can't remember the last time you checked your oil? Be honest. That 60 seconds you're skipping is why bearings fail without warning. Park on level ground, let the engine sit for 5 minutes after running, pull the dipstick, wipe it clean, reinsert it fully, then pull it again to read the level. A nurse in Denver religiously checked her oil every Sunday. At 175,000 miles, her 2011 Toyota RAV4 started consuming a quart every 1,000 miles. Because she caught it early by checking regularly, she could add oil before damage occurred. She made it to 240,000 miles before trading it in, and the engine still ran strong. If you don't check your oil, you're gambling with thousands of dollars every time you drive. But here's the thing, checking oil level is step 1. The next problem silently destroys engines even when oil levels are perfect, and most people never check it until it's too late. 12. Replace your spark plugs and ignition system. Bad spark plugs cause incomplete combustion, which washes cylinder walls with raw fuel, dilutes your oil, creates carbon deposits, and reduces power. This makes a good engine feel tired. Worn plugs also cause misfires, which dump raw fuel into the exhaust system. That fuel can wash oil off cylinder walls on its way through, causing accelerated wear. Modern engines are sensitive to spark plug condition. We diagnosed a 2012 Toyota Camry with 160,000 miles that had terrible acceleration and was burning oil. The owner thought the engine was worn out. We pulled the spark plugs and found they had 120,000 miles on them, were severely worn, and had nearly no gap left. New plugs cost $80. Instantly, the engine ran better, power returned, and over the next 3,000 miles, oil consumption normalized. Why? The old plugs were causing incomplete combustion and misfires. This washed fuel into the oil, thinning it and reducing its protective ability. Fresh plugs restored proper combustion, and the oil could do its job again. Drop a comment. How many miles are on your spark plugs right now? I'm betting half of you don't even know. That's the problem. But here's where things get serious, because the next problem kills engines without warning, and you can't see it coming. 11. Clean your engine's cooling system. Overheating is a silent killer. Even moderate overheating warps cylinder heads, damages head gaskets, and breaks down oil. A neglected cooling system can make a perfectly good engine seem tired. Rust, scale, and old coolant reduce cooling efficiency. Your engine runs hotter than it should, accelerating wear and breaking down oil faster. This creates a downward spiral where the engine gets progressively worse. Flush your cooling system every 50,000 miles or 5 years. Use a quality coolant that meets your vehicle's specifications. Old coolant becomes acidic and corrodes internal passages, reducing coolant flow and cooling capacity. A soccer mom brought us her 2010 Honda Odyssey with 185,000 miles. Engine was running rough, consuming oil, and had low power. Coolant looked like rusty mud. We performed a complete cooling system flush, replaced the thermostat, and refilled with proper Honda coolant. The engine transformation was remarkable. Power returned, oil consumption decreased, and it ran smoothly again. Why? The engine had been chronically running 15 to 20 degrees too hot, degrading the oil and causing excessive wear. Once cooling was restored to normal, the engine could function properly again. An overheating engine accelerates every wear process. Fix cooling first, then evaluate other issues. Now, there's another system quietly sabotaging your engine as we speak. 10. Fix vacuum leaks and intake gasket problems. Vacuum leaks allow unmetered air into the engine, leaning out the fuel mixture. This causes rough, idle, poor performance, and can even cause engine damage from running too lean. Intake manifold gaskets deteriorate over time, especially on engines with plastic intake manifolds. These leaks are often misdiagnosed as worn engine, when really it's just a bad gasket. Common symptoms include rough idle, hesitation, check engine light for lean codes, and hissing sounds from the engine bay. A smoke test can find these leaks quickly. We had a 2009 Ford Escape with 175,000 miles that ran terribly. The owner was quoted $3,200 for an engine rebuild by another shop. We did a smoke test and found a massive intake manifold gasket leak. A $380 gasket replacement completely fixed the problem. The engine ran perfectly. Vacuum leaks can also come from cracked vacuum hoses, faulty brake boosters, or leaking PCV systems. These are all relatively cheap fixes that can save your engine from unnecessary surgery. Don't assume your engine is worn out until you've ruled out vacuum leaks. They're incredibly common on high-mileage engines and create symptoms that mimic serious mechanical problems. If these engine-saving secrets are preventing your $4,500 rebuild, hit that subscribe button now, because what's coming next about the PCV system could be the $15 fix that saves your engine. 9. Address blow-by and PCV system problems. Blow-by is when combustion gases escape past worn piston rings into the crankcase. This pressurizes the crankcase and forces oil out through seals and gaskets. It also contaminates your oil with combustion byproducts. The positive crankcase ventilation (PCV) system relieves this pressure by routing gases back into the intake. When the PCV valve fails, pressure builds up, causing oil leaks, increased oil consumption, and accelerated wear. A $15 PCV valve replacement can solve problems that seem like they require a $4,000 rebuild. We've seen this dozens of times. When's the last time you even looked at your PCV valve? Most people don't even know where it is. That's exactly why mechanics love selling you rebuilds instead of $15 parts. Last month, a construction worker brought his 2014 Ford F-150 with 170,000 miles. It was pushing oil out every seal and burning a quart every 400 miles. We checked compression and found decent numbers. Then we tested the PCV system and found it completely clogged. A $180 service to replace the PCV valve and clean the system fixed everything. 3 months later, his oil consumption is normal and the leaks stopped. Check your PCV valve every 30,000 miles. It's cheap insurance against expensive problems. A clogged PCV can make a healthy engine seem like it's dying. But here's something most people overlook: a hidden buildup that's slowly choking your engine to death. 8. Use high-mileage fuel system cleaners regularly. Carbon deposits on intake valves and fuel injectors choke your engine. This causes rough idle, poor acceleration, increased emissions, and reduced fuel economy. It also creates uneven cylinder pressures that stress engine components. Direct injection engines are especially prone to intake valve carbon buildup because fuel doesn't wash over the valves. A 2015 Volkswagen GTY with 80,000 miles can have completely clogged intake valves. Use a quality fuel system cleaner every 5,000 miles. Products like Chevron Techron, Liqui-Moly Jectron, or BG44K dissolve deposits and restore engine performance. For severe cases, professional intake cleaning services use walnut blasting or chemical soaks. A Uber driver with a 2013 Hyundai Sonata had terrible performance at 140,000 miles. Engine felt tired and sluggish. We performed a fuel system cleaning service using BG products. Cost $220. The car picked up noticeable power, idle smoothed out, and fuel economy improved by 3 miles per gallon. He avoided what could have been misdiagnosed as a failing engine. Clean fuel delivery means efficient combustion, which means less stress on all engine components. This simple maintenance can make a 150,000-mile engine feel like it has 50,000. Now here's the test most people skip, the one that tells you if your engine truly needs a rebuild or just needs help. 7. Perform a compression test and address cylinder issues. Before assuming your engine needs a rebuild, do a compression test. This $100 test tells you the actual health of your cylinders, rings, and valves. Low compression across all cylinders might just mean carbon buildup. Low compression in 1 or 2 cylinders could indicate valve issues. Dramatically low compression usually means worn rings or cylinder walls. Here's the interesting part. You can sometimes fix low compression without opening the engine. Running a can of seafoam through the intake or adding a specialized piston ring cleaner to your oil can free up stuck rings and restore compression. We had a 2011 Nissan Altima come in with misfires and terrible power loss. Compression test showed 2 cylinders at 90 psi when they should be 180 psi. Before quoting a rebuild, we treated it with BG109 piston ring cleaner and took it for a 50-mile highway drive. Retested compression. Both cylinders came up to 165 psi. Problem solved for $120 instead of $3,500. If compression is too low to save, you at least know the engine truly needs mechanical work. But surprisingly often, what seems like a worn-out engine is really stuck rings or carbon buildup. Now here's a controversial fix that mechanics love to debate, but I've seen it save engines that were headed for the scrapyard. 6. Add a quality oil additive. High-mileage engines have worn clearances between moving parts. Oil additives can temporarily cushion these gaps and reduce metal-on-metal contact. Products like Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer or Seafoam High Mileage Motor Treatment contain seal conditioners, anti-wear agents, and viscosity modifiers. They help restore compression, quiet noisy lifters, and reduce oil consumption. Yesterday, a retired teacher brought in her 2010 Subaru Outback with 190,000 miles. The engine had a terrible lifter tick that sounded like a sewing machine. We added Lucas Oil Stabilizer to her existing oil. Within 20 miles, the ticking reduced by 80%. It's been 3 months and the noise is still minimal. Comment below. Does your engine tick, knock, or make weird noises? Describe it. I'll tell you if an additive can help or if you need real mechanical work. Now, here's the part that separates the pros from the amateurs, and it's shockingly simple. 5. Use an engine flush before oil changes. Now this one's controversial, but hear me out. A quality engine flush can dissolve sludge and varnish that's been choking your engine for years. Products like Liqui Moly Engine Flush or BG Full Power Cleaner contain detergents that break down deposits without damaging seals or gaskets. You add it to old oil, run the engine for 10 to 15 minutes, then drain everything out. We use this on a 2012 Honda Accord with 165,000 miles that was burning a quart of oil every 800 miles. The piston rings were stuck with carbon deposits. After an engine flush and fresh oil, the oil consumption dropped to a quart every 3,000 miles. That's still not perfect, but the owner avoided a $3,800 engine rebuild. The key is using quality products and following instructions exactly. Cheap flushes can be too harsh and damage seals. Professional-grade products are formulated to be safe for all rubber and plastic components. A mechanic friend told us he's seen engines with 200,000 plus miles gain noticeable power after a proper flush because compressed rings freed up and started sealing properly again. 4. Switch to synthetic or synthetic blend. Synthetic oil is engineered at the molecular level for superior performance. It flows better in cold weather, resists breakdown at high temperatures, and provides better protection than conventional oil. For tired engines, synthetic oil's detergent package helps clean out sludge while its superior film strength protects worn surfaces better. Synthetic oil also maintains viscosity longer, meaning more consistent protection between oil changes. A fleet manager for a delivery company switched their entire fleet to synthetic oil. These vehicles average 150,000 to 200,000 miles before retirement. After the switch, engine-related breakdowns dropped 43% and average vehicle lifespan increased to 220,000 to 250,000 miles. The synthetic oil cost about $15 more per change, but they saved thousands in repairs and vehicle replacement costs. If full synthetic stretches your budget, Synthetic Blend is an excellent middle ground. It combines synthetic base stock with conventional oil, giving you 70 to 80% of synthetic's benefits at a lower price point. But here's the thing, oil type matters, but there's a hidden culprit that makes even the best oil useless. 3. Use the correct oil viscosity. Oil viscosity is critical, especially for tired engines. Too thin, and it won't cushion worn parts properly. Too thick, and it won't flow through tight clearances or lubricate quickly on cold starts. Your owner's manual specifies viscosity for a reason. It's engineered for your specific engine's clearances, bearing sizes, and oil pump capacity. A 2015 Honda with 200,000 miles doesn't need the same oil as a brand new 2024 model, even if they're the same engine. Many high-mileage engines benefit from moving up one viscosity grade. If your manual recommends 5W30, switching to 5W40 or even 10W30 can reduce oil consumption and quiet engine noise. The slightly thicker oil compensates for worn clearances. We had a 2009 BMW 335i come in, burning a quart of oil every 500 miles. The owner was using the recommended 5W30. We switched him to 5W40 high mileage formula. His consumption dropped to a quart every 2,000 miles. That's still high, but it bought him another year before considering a rebuild. Always consult your manual, and for high mileage engines, consider one grade thicker if you're experiencing issues. Who here is still using the same oil viscosity your engine needed when it was brand new? Your engine has 200,000 miles on it now. It needs different protection than it did at 20,000. Here's where it gets crazy, and I mean change everything you thought you knew crazy. 2. Change your oil more frequently than recommended. Manufacturer recommendations are designed for normal driving conditions. But be honest, do you really drive under normal conditions? Stop and go traffic, short trips, extreme temperatures, dusty roads, and towing all count as severe service. These conditions break down oil faster and create more contaminants. If you're driving in severe conditions but following normal intervals, your oil is degraded for thousands of miles before you change it. A taxi driver in Chicago with a 2016 Toyota Camry changes his oil every 3,000 miles instead of the recommended 7,500. His car now has 420,000 miles on the original engine. No rebuild, no major repairs. He spends an extra $400 every 100,000 miles on oil changes, but his engine runs like it has 100,000 miles. For tired engines specifically, shorter intervals help flush out accumulated sludge and deposits gradually. Think of it as giving your engine more frequent cleanings instead of waiting until it's filthy. Hey, if this kind of no-nonsense advice is saving you from $1,000 mistakes, hit that subscribe button now. I've got more real-world tips coming up that'll save your engine and your wallet. Wait till you see what happens when you pair this with the next secret. It's like giving your engine a time machine. 1. Choose the right high-mileage oil formula. Here's the truth nobody tells you. Not all high-mileage oils are created equal. The difference between a quality high-mileage synthetic and bargain oil is the difference between 300,000 miles and 150,000. High-mileage oils contain 4 critical components regular oils don't have. First, seal conditioners. These soften and swell aging seals to stop leaks. A good high-mileage oil can reduce oil consumption by 40 to 60% in engines with worn seals. Second, extra detergents. These actively dissolve sludge and varnish that's been choking your engine for years, but they do it gradually, without damaging seals like harsh flushes can. Third, advanced anti-wear packages. High-mileage oils contain extra ZDDP, zinc and phosphorus compounds that protect camshafts, lifters, and bearings, the parts that fail first in tired engines. Fourth, viscosity modifiers that maintain film strength at high temperatures. Worn engines run hotter, and cheap oil breaks down under that heat. Quality high-mileage oil stays protective even when temperatures spike. Look for oils specifically labeled high mileage with these characteristics. Quality brands include Mobil 1 High Mileage, Valvoline Max Life, Castrol Edge High Mileage, or Pennzoil High Mileage. They all use similar technology. Pick based on your budget and availability, not brand hype. The cost difference? About $10 to $15 more per oil change compared to bargain oil. Over 100,000 miles at 5,000-mile intervals, that's 20 changes or $200 to $300 total. Would you rather spend $300 or $4,500? A delivery driver with a 2011 Honda Accord switched from cheap conventional to Valvoline Max Life at 180,000 miles. His engine was burning a quart every 800 miles and had terrible lifter noise. After 3 oil changes with the high mileage formula, consumption dropped to a quart every 3,500 miles. The noise disappeared, and he's now at 265,000 miles with no rebuild. Another customer ran Mobil 1 High Mileage in his 2010 Toyota Camry from 120,000 miles forward. At 340,000 miles, we opened that engine for a timing chain replacement. The inside looked factory new, pistons shiny, no sludge, minimal wear. That's what the right oil does over time. Here's what not to do. Don't just grab whatever's on sale. Don't use regular synthetic in a high mileage engine. It lacks the seal conditioners and extra detergents. And don't use conventional oil thinking it's good enough. It's not for a tired engine fighting to survive. The right high-mileage synthetic is like giving your engine a second chance. It won't fix mechanical damage, but if your engine is just tired, worn, and neglected, this oil can literally add 100,000 plus miles to its life. That's your formula. Not a miracle, not magic, just the right chemistry at the right time for an engine that needs help. So next time you change your oil, remember, that little choice at the parts store counter can mean the difference between rebuilding your engine next year or driving it for another decade. If this 15-step formula just saved you from a $4,500 rebuild, hit that like button. Drop a comment with your engine's mileage and whether it's burning oil. And if you want to know which engine problems you should never try to fix yourself, click the video on the left. Don't forget to subscribe for real-world car advice that keeps engines running past 300,000 miles.